have a Thai name, Sopon, and I also have a Chinese name called Lin Jing Chiu. My grandmother came from mainland China. I don't know if she moved away southward to Singapore or Malaysia. Now my name may be Bruno Lim because they like a Christian name. And the saint on my birthday is Saint Bruno, so I should be Bruno Lim. But so I have Thai name as Sopon. So you can copy Sopon, it will be easier. My grandma called me Achiu because I was born in autumn. Fortunately, if she did not move from China right now, I will be really, really rich. Because in China now, the income of new graduates is really high compared to Thailand. I remember that in 1986, when I studied in Belgium, my friend from Beijing said that bachelor degree student graduate, they earn only around 800 baht per month at that time. In Thailand at that time it is around 2,100 baht per month for bachelor degree. But now the situation changed a lot. So this is myself, but I cannot speak Mandarin, unfortunately. Just only Chao Tua Hua. When I was young, I could not speak even Thai, but we were born in third generation in Thailand because we were in Chinese community at that time. Maybe my next life I will learn Chinese. Maybe too late now, too old to learn. But they said no one is too old to learn. Like computers, still have to learn what really literally to learn, but still have to learn. So I'm the president of the Agency for Race and Affairs, the one who owns this information. And another thing is, I'm also the president of the TFC Thai. TFC is an international federation of real estate. We have around 70 chapters in 70 countries. We are the largest real estate association in the world. Headquarters is in Paris. So if you are in Thailand and you like to be member of TFC Thailand, you can highly contact me, and you can highly be our president as well, because you have a rotation. But currently I'm the president, so you can join us, so that you can have contact of different people in the world, like the largest developer in Japan, largest developer in Singapore, Indonesia, the Philippines. They are all our members. So I think you also have our booklet on the TFC Excellent Awards. We highly recommend some real estate projects to be our award winners for this year as well. So let me start. The information that I presented is from the Agency for Real Estate Affairs. Our firm called Agency for Real Estate Affairs, but we are not a real estate agency. We are not brokers. I myself is an appraiser or valuer. We are not developer either. If I'm an agent, maybe I'm very rich, because agents are very rich, and also developer also very rich. But for me, we think we should be only valuers or researchers, so that we stay neutral. We stay really neutral. But we also develop our own properties. Today we have an office of around 12,000 square meters. And we occupy the 8th floor. The rest we put it for rent. In the future, I may not be able to work anymore. Maybe we have some income or something. And we just complete a new hotel for our own. So that it's just only some development that we do, but just for our own use, not to compete with our clients. Because all the big players in Thailand, they are our members. And we also work abroad. Like I just came back from Nepal to conduct the survey of low-cost housing. I mean, we will try to relocate some people away from the existing site so that we can do something else. But not put them far away to the outside the cities. That may not be good, but we try to relocate them peacefully. So we conduct this study, and also conduct this sort of study for the World Bank in Jakarta as well. Try to relocate some people on like sharing basis or any other basis. We also went to do some valuation of casino in South Africa and other African countries, and we went in Brazil or somewhere else. A brand in a bread or a restaurant brand or something in Singapore, in Malaysia, or restaurant brand in London. So if you like to hire us to do anything, we can do that. Actually, we conduct this sort of survey of real estate markets in Jakarta, in Manila, Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, Phnom Penh, Kathmandu, and other places as well on a regular basis. So in Bangkok, you can see that these are around 18,000 projects that we conducted the surveys in 1999. Anyone in 1994, anyone haven't bought yet? Some of us maybe not yet born. But in 1994, we conducted this sort of study. Every month, we went to the field to conduct a survey, and also every quarter, we update the market situation. So these are altogether 18,500 projects. If you don't believe me, you can highly proud yourself that it is sure. We also do some warning on real estate markets since 1991, because our agency for real estate affairs, our firms, we started in 1991, like some oversupply of office buildings or something. We do this sort of warning many times. But if I have an agent, I won't tell you this story, because if I have an agent, I may say that the properties that we are selling is very good. We don't tell you that in the future there will be a lot of oversupply. So this sort of warning, you can have a look yourself later. In the survey, every month, actually every day, we went out to the field to conduct a survey of real estate projects, commercial properties, industrial properties, residential properties like detached house. Detached house in Thailand, in Malaysia they may call bungalow house. Also duplex. Duplex in Thailand means semi-detached. That is another type, semi-detached. But we also call them duplex. But duplex in the Philippines, in Malaysia, maybe if a unit of condominiums on 2 floors, we call them duplex, but maybe similar. We also have townhouses, like barrack type housing in cities, as well as shop houses, downstairs for commercial uses, upstairs for residential purposes. But this sort of thing may not be allowed in Los Angeles or many other cities, because if you stay there, it may be against law, because by zoning, you cannot stay in the commercial area. And also we have condominiums and land subdivisions. We conduct this survey every month for the new projects. But for other provinces in Thailand, we conduct a survey every half a year. And some provinces maybe every quarters. So this is the survey that we done, and then we put in the computer. But we keep the paper of the brochure as well. I believe that in the next 100 years, my family will become very rich because we collect all the brochure. And in the next 100 years, my great-granddaughters may be able to sell those brochure back. Maybe like antique or something. Yeah, so it will be really worthwhile in the future. But we also keep in the computer format as well. So every year you see we provide 12 copies of the report, and also half a year report every year. And this is for the subscription, 60,000 baht. I don't believe that you will be our subscribers, but because We are mainly like a public agency or embassy or something, but for most of the listed companies, they are our members. Most of the large companies, they are our members. Most of the banks, particularly local banks, 15 local banks, which is very like somewhat semi monopolized or something firms, they are also our members. So this is very worthwhile for them to plan what are happening. This is our program in April 6 to 8, the valuation of complex property you may like to come. So let me just start with this panorama. This is the survey since 1994 in January until December 2022. Actually, the findings of January 2023 already completed. We already sent to our members around almost 150 members, almost 200 members. Actually, developers in Thailand, in Bangkok alone, maybe around 400 to 500 members, or 400 to 500 developers. But those who are our members, maybe not many, only 100 something. You can see here that during the crisis in 1997, 1998, maybe big depression or something. But now you can see that lately, last year, it is in the on the upright. This is going up again. You can see here. During last year, the tendency is it is going up. So this is booming. But if we ask the developers, even the big developers, they may say that they are in difficulty. The government should help them or something. So they need some help. Actually, they earn a lot. You may know that developers in Thailand, in Bangkok, may earn around 15% of the value of the properties. Say if they develop one project, 3 billion baht, the net profit might be around 450 million, that is 15%. Supalai and some other big companies may be able to earn up to 20%. But they still need to get help from the government. I don't know why. But this sort of thing, if you ask the real estate information of the government, they will not be able to tell you. But all of us, we are independent. You may know that we also have public government real estate information center as well, but they are their board members are president of 3 major real estate associations, so they are not so independent. I was the one who helped give birth to that real estate information center as well, because the Ministry of Finance, by the budget of the Asian Development Bank, hired me to conduct a study how to establish the real estate information center in the government bodies. But for us, we are independent because we are not under any big developers. And you see that right now, you can see that there are around 2,691 existing housing projects available for sale. This is quite huge indeed. This is the Bangkok Metropolitan Region, or BMR. BMR consisting of Bangkok, Nonthaburi, Pathum Thani, Surat Prakan, Samut Sakhon, and Nakhon Pathom. Actually, just part of Nakhon Pathom. And also, part of them here is the area of Chak Cheng Sao. This is in the zone of influence of Bangkok. And here, this is the area of what we call Ayutthaya. So this is the area that another province. But this is in the Bangkok Metropolitan Region. So these are the projects that are currently for sale. You see, in Sukhumvit area, in the area of Sukhumvit, you can see that there are so many projects for sale here. This is Sukhumvit here. However, you see this table, this one, these figures, this is the newly launched housing units or real estate units. I mean, apart from housing, we also have the other real estate projects as well, like mini factory, mini office, apartments or some other thing. These are the projects that happening last year, 420 projects. But you can see that in the heart of the city, like Sukhumvit, there may be not so many units, like the existing one. But here, maybe they are in the outskirts somewhere. Yeah, this is in the intermediate area or in the outskirts area. Not because of COVID, but maybe because we have new mass transit or new highway or something, so they are now there. But if in the case of far away, in the remote area, actually not so remote, but in the area where there is no mass transit or no sky train, no tollway, there may be no new projects. In this area, if you build anything, maybe a place for meditation may be good, suitable, not for housing projects. It may be so quiet. So actually land price is not so high. You may know that land price in Bangkok, in the heart of the city, in Siam Square, Plankit, 1 square bar, that is 4 square meter, is 3.3 million baht. Whereas in this particular area, in the yellow area here, land price may be only 1.5 million. Sorry, only 4,000 baht per square bar. 4,000 baht per square bar compared to 3.5 million baht per square bar is a really big difference. Although the distance, the geometrical distance may be only 50 or 45 kilometers only. This is a big disparity in land price in Bangkok, because Bangkok is the primate city, the city that grows gold, unlike many other cities in like Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, there may be two, but in Thailand just only one conglomeration of big city, that is Bangkok. Here you can also see that there are several lines, but I'd like to tell you the line, the red line and the blue line. The red line is the number of units that built, and the blue is the number of units that launched. Whenever normally the blue line will be over the red line, this means that the number of units launched is higher than the number of units built. However, whenever the red line is above the blue line, it means that they are in the oversupply stage, overbuilt or oversupply stage. So this is the problem. But right now it's okay. But in the future, there may be trouble again. I will inform you that maybe in the year 2025 or 2036 or something, there may be oversupply back again. But right now, still growing. Okay. In sum, this is the number of launches of housing units in the Bangkok metropolitan region, Eama, in 1994 to 2000. This is on annual basis. This is the period of the depression and the economic crisis in 1997. And this is another time during the COVID-19. You see, this is a big difference. You can see here that in the year 2019, there may be around almost 120,000 units launched in the year 2019, that is here, 2019. Okay. And 2020, the number of units launched down to 73,000, only 73,000 only. And year 2021, down to 60,000, almost half of the 2019. And then 2022, last year, it picked up again to almost 110. So this means that it is on the rebound period. If we predict this in statistical model, we can see that this rebound may last next year, 2022 2023 and 2034, and then afterwards maybe going down again. This is some sort of a cycle. So right now you can see that the situation is quite okay. However, yes sir.
This doesn't include condo, right?
Yes, these are including condominium, detached house, semi-detached, townhouse, everything. And also some land subdivision. But land subdivision may be very few because the banks do not want to rent any properties for, do not want to lending money to those who buy land subdivision. So this is to confirm that the market should be better. So in the year 2023, this year, do you believe that it will be growing above 2022? Yes? Definitely, no? That should be better. Someone said that it would be better because the palmist or the fortune teller said that it would be better. Do you believe in that? Maybe. But particularly Chinese, we may believe, not in this. Mr. Low, do you believe in this?
I can project. I don't believe.
You can.
I'm rational thinking. It should be better.
I see. Not by which,
not religiously believe.
Oh, I see.
Because of you look at the world economy and Southeast Asia getting more prosperous than the.
But maybe some threat like the World War III.
No. I'm not worried about the World War III yet. I'm worried about the election in the coming months.
Oh, I see. And are you worried about UFO?
I have seen UFO before. I don't worry.
You saw already?
Yeah, when I was maybe 9 years old. In Hong Kong, I saw on the western sky, and it's come and then go.
Really?
That was more than 50 years ago.
Mr. Low is even if he look younger, but he is my senior at the Asian Institute of Technology. Yeah, you look younger than me.
But UFO, I don't afraid. It's the politician. The
election in Thailand. Maybe some threat, maybe some uncertainty. There may be some coup d'etat or not, sir? I don't know. And have you ever seen any ghost? Ghost?
No ghost.
No ghost, huh?
But just saw the UFO.
Oh, I thought
the flying object. It flies just so quick.
Flying object. Huh?
Yeah,
you never see ghost, but you can see UFO.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
That's different thing. So I say,
you see some Madamese ghost? No. Yeah, I'm 65 already, never seen any ghost. But if you can bring him to or her to beside me to have a look, and maybe sanishing my neck or something, I will give you 100,000 baht. Because I never see, I like to see. Unfortunately, never see. So unfortunate. Okay, next. This is the average price. The average price. Now it is around 4 million, maybe a little bit down last year, but around 4 million. The most expensive one, maybe condominium unit in penthouse in the metropolitan tower or something, maybe around 640 million baht per unit. Oh, that is very high. And also another detached house units in the Forestia project in Bang Natra. They sell it at around 350 million or something, one big mansion, 350 million. I don't know who bought it. I like to know. Maybe I will apply to be a gardener. They may be very rich to have that 350 million. That is around 10 million US dollar. I think that is a very high price indeed. I think if I have 350 million, I may not be able to buy, I may not spend that money. But this means that those who bought this unit must be very affluent indeed. But on the average, it is around 4.4 something million. In the US, maybe 3 times more, maybe around 13 or 14 million baht per unit. In the case of a house in USA, Maybe some of us may have a house in USA, like our governor of Bangkok. He also has a house in USA. He pay around, his house is around 70 million, 70. This is the number that you should know, that is on the whole, on the hand of the developers in Thailand, in Bangkok alone, there are around 218,000 units still on the hand of the developers. On the hand of the developers is around 218,000 units. This is quite big.
You mean this is sold?
No,
or
this is
vacant?
still unsold.
Unsold.
Still on the hand of the developers. Still overhang. Still haunting the developer. Haunted the developers. So this is in Bangkok metropolitan region alone, the BMR alone. If we include those in a country like another 70 provinces, that will be another almost another 200,000. So altogether in Thailand as a whole, there may be around 400,000 units on the hand of the developers that's still available for sale, and only maybe 60,000 units built. Most of them not yet built, or maybe just partly built. Okay, so 400,000 units still on the hand of the developer, and another 1 million units are on the hand of the buyers. That is, those who bought it already and want to resell it. That is another 1 million. So we have around 1.5 million housing units available for sale. But some of them still have people staying there, but they want to sell it soon. So that is our estimate that the number of units available for sale in the market is around 1.5 million, whereas 400,000 are those on the hand of the developers, and half of them, 200,000, are on the hand of the developer in the BMR. So if you are developers, or if you are bankers, you want to lending money to developers, you should lend to those who are in Bangkok, or in Chiang Mai, or Pattaya, or Phuket. In other small provinces are too risky to give them loan because small projects like after Ayutthaya will be somewhere like Ang Thong, Singapore, China, Uthai Thani, Nakhon Sawan, very small cities. However, if in the case of what we call Suphalai, they went to develop around almost 40 provinces already. They are the largest developer in our country. This is the case. And in Bangkok alone, you can see that 218,000, most of them, not most of them, but the largest proportion, around 39% are condominium, you see, 39% are condominium. 34% are townhouse, and 15% are detached house. Okay, so these are the situations. And in the case of sale, we can see that they need some 38 months to sell. These 218,000, they need around 38 months to sell. This implies that if there is no newly launched units at all, these 215,000 can be sold for another 39 months. So, but in reality, there will be newly launched units anywhere. So these units, some of them may be prolonged for some time. Particularly those who are in bad feng shui, maybe in the intersection, triangle intersection, something like this. Maybe cannot be sold quickly. My friends own some units like that. They hold it for 5 years already, still cannot be sold. So if it were you, what will you do? If it cannot be sold, what should we do? Burn it. They just put it for rent or something. Just put it for rent. And you may heard that there was one house, the young son, chopped down their mother and put her in the refrigerator, and that is in the triangle houses also. Oh, that is too big tragedy. But some houses like that in Malaysia can be sold by auction. A man, an Indian man, staying in a house in Malaysia, and his wife found that he has a mistress or something. So his wife killed that mistress and hanged the head in front of the house. And when the husband come, the husband shocked and died again, died the second person. And when the wife saw the two person die, she also commit suicide. So that house has been there for 20 or 30 years, but it has been put in action already. I think it should already be sold. Maybe the business of hunting ghosts or something.
Maybe we should go there. If you go to see ghosts, go
Yeah,
there.
unfortunately. And this is the case that you can see that during the COVID-19, the number of units sold are smaller. Normally, you can see that it is around 100,000 units. Sorry, it should be this 100,000 units every year. You see, it should be the average 100,000 units every year that can be sold. But during the COVID period, only say 60,000, 70,000 units sold only. That's why this year is a boom, because the demand, the lock demand unlocked, so they come back to buy again. Yes. Yes, please.
On the bottom table, so we can say that for condominium, it takes up average 32 months.
Yeah, it is better.
And for the land, it's 100.
Yeah, there is all projects. There is cannot be sold anymore. Some of them are in trouble with the banks. So this is also your opportunity. You can buy those projects and give them rebirth for them. Maybe you build some house onto it. Our consultancy service is if there are some projects that cannot be sold, how can we revitalize those projects as well. So you see that every year the demand of housing is around 100,000 units in Bangkok. In our country, around another 80,000, smaller than Bangkok alone, 80,000. So every year there may be around 180,000 to 200,000 units are bought by people. So the real demand is that. But you may know that in the case of condominiums, 60%, I say around 2/3, 66% bought by the end users, and another 20% or 25% bought by the speculators, Thai speculators, and the rest, 15%, 1/5, may be bought by, or 10% bought by foreigners. And we have the presentation on the buyers of, on the buying of foreigners for you as well. This may be not so familiar with you. This is the 20 largest group of high-sold rate ratio as of in 2002 by Seoul, Thais and Thais. We are the only real estate information center that can provide you this information. Say, number one, Baring Patdan. Baring Patdan is nearby Bang Na. Condominium in that area at the price very low, less than 1 million baht per unit. They can be sold very quickly, 50% per month. Oh, a lot. Or K3, Mahachai, Sedekit, southwest of Bangkok. Condominium, 1 to 2 million. They can sold around 26.7% per month. So this is sale like hot cake. So this means that these units, these products are very good. So if you want to develop something like these projects, I think you will be able to sell quickly because these projects can be sold quickly. But there might be some special cases because there may be good brand or maybe some other reason. But normally if you provide something similar to them, you should be able to sell. Except your salesperson may not be professional. Except your products may badly designed or something. Or except your construction are no progress or something. Otherwise, you should be able to sell. So this is the threshold for you to have a look. On the contrary, this is the case that low sold rate, say in Srinakrin townhouse 10 to 20 million, or they cannot be sold at all. So this means that they are too expensive. They are too expensive to sell. Or number two, Ekachai townhouse 5 to 10 million, also too expensive. Ekachai Bangbon, that is the intermediate area, those area townhouse may be mostly around 2 3 million only. This is a too high price, so they cannot be sold easily. So this is the case. If you want to develop something like this, you should not do. Or if you are from Bank of China, someone come to get a loan from your bank and they want to develop something similar to this, you may say no. Go to Citibank or go to UOB. but UOB already eat Citibank, already ate. Yeah. So this is the case. Actually, we have a report. Oh, sorry, I did not bring you the report today. I believe the report for us is that we have 78 zones, 78 zones, and each zone we will show you detached house, semi-detached townhouse, and every detached house will be different price ranges. So you can see that how many units are available, how many are already sold, what is the sale rate, any land price increase, any house price increase. So those information around 1,000 pages. That is the thing that we do. And this is, you can see that the 218,000 units, they are very fragile. You mean that, this means that the number of units already built 100% is only 38,000 units only. You see? Yeah, 38,000 units, 100% built. 100% built is 38,000 units only. And 0% built, and 21,000 and 70,000, that 10 to 19% built. So you can say that the number of units built are very small. You may heard that Land and House, one of the largest company in Thailand, they said that they build before sale. They build before sale, just some of them, not all of them. But they said that, oh, we build before sale. The only firm that build before sale is the National Housing Authorities, that is the government. But most of the developers, they sell off the planned projects. With the project that already, they just put into the market, they get the approval from the EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment, and they sell. And then they just construct it, and then in the next 30 months, they will transfer to the buyers. So this is what happened in Thailand, normal practice. And the one bad thing is that in Thailand, we don't have an escrow account. Actually, we have an act, escrow account act, back in 2009 or something, long time ago. But in the act, they said that if the buyers and the seller agree to do a escrow account contract, they can do. But if they do not agree, if any party do not agree, they don't need to do the escrow account. So this means that no developer do that. The big developer said that I have good name. I don't know whether real name or not, but they said they have good name. They won't cheat the buyers, so they don't do that. The small developer, they said that we don't do, because if the big one did not do, I should not do. Otherwise, I have to pay more expenses. So we have an act, but look like no act. Our lawyer is very great. They create an act, but look like no act, because no one apply it. There is no compulsory. No compulsory. We should do it for the sake of the benefit of the buyers, home buyers. And this is good for developers, because if it is compulsory, or the developer have to do escrow account, no cheating or something, or the developer will have good brand, because they have responsibility to the consumer. But we don't have that. And if we have responsibility to the consumer, big developers and small developers will have similar brand value, because we have responsibility for the developers. But right now, only big firm has credibility. Small firm or SME developers may not get reputation because there is no no protection to the consumer. So this is something not good. And here you can see that most of them now they need some what they call maybe a few years to complete. You can see the one that completed 2018 units. The number of units that completed last year is 20,000 only, and this year they will this year 2026, 2023 they will complete another 85,000 units. But you can see here that another 65,000 will complete next year. Another 30,000 will complete near after next. So this is very fragile. They will not be able to complete it as well. So this is the thing that actually we should protect the consumer. If we protect the consumer will have confidence and they will buy more than today. Yes, sir.
Do you mean that there is an act, but it's not compulsory?
No compulsory.
That the consumer cannot be protected.
Yeah, that's why the consumer.
If the situation that the developer want to pre-sell the unit, they have to, in an ideal way, set up an account, put certain amount of money according to the law or whatever, certain proportion of the project value, and then nobody can touch it. Or the third party can release the money to the developer to proceed to the law, right? But there is an act, but look like no act.
Yeah, because it will be in practice if both parties agree. If one party do not agree, the seller did not agree, they won't be able to do it.
So the consumer is depending on the credit of the developer. If it's a big company, they will deliver the unit, and if maybe small, they may not complete the project, and then the consumer will be suffered.
Yeah. So when big developer said that I won't cheat you, if not necessary.
The big name.
If not necessary, I won't cheat you. But if necessary, maybe. But actually, if we have consumer protection, it should be good for both sides.
True.
And then this is the newly launched units every month that we conduct a survey. If in nearby your neighborhood, if you can find any new projects that will be going to be launched soon, and if it is not in our list, and if you inform me, I will compensate to you 1,000 baht. I know that you don't need that money, but this is to compensate you, because every day we have to go and do the survey. It may be reduce our cost and also our time. Here, this is the newly launched units. Last year, 107,000. We can make it. You can see that 50% are condominiums. Condominium in Thailand means owner-occupied apartments. We call condominiums. Even if it is low price, we also call them condominiums. But if it is low price, in Malaysia we may call them apartments. And if it is high price, we will call them condominium. But in Thailand we also use condominium, that is owner-occupied apartments. And then 15% are detached house, and then 26% are townhouse. You may know that we have duplex. Duplex in Thailand look like detached house, because normally duplex we may have a wall, share the walling, share the wall, or sometimes they may share the wall of the kitchen, or share the wall of the toilet or something. But now they may show a beam to see the connection. And after people, the two parties bought the units, they may just knock down the beam, so look like detached house. Some of them even look like detached house physically. The developer said that, oh, the beam is down underground. So in Thailand, money can buy many things. So this is the number of units launched by the developers here, and also bought around 35,000 units. Around 1/3 of them already sold already. This is the thing that you should understand, that is, there are around 14 zones. Altogether here we have 78 zones. But there are 14 zones that no new projects. This means that this zone, no demand. Here, this is the zone here, and this zone here. This is in a remote area, so no new projects. This is not far away, but in this area there are some restriction on zoning. That's why no development. This may be a little far away from the city. So these are the zones that no new development, and some in the city that we don't allow people to build new projects because of the regulations, height limit or something. So this is the case. So if we develop a project here, if we establish a project here, maybe no competitors on one hand. On the other hand, no buyers. You may be really lonely to be here. Even particularly in this area, maybe it is good for meditation hub for you. So if we conduct a survey, something like this in Dhaka, something like this in Manila that we did, we will see that what are the areas that is good or bad for developers. We conducted a survey of this back in 2015 in Kathmandu, in Nepal. And after my presentation and collect the money from the authorities there, 3 days I came back, it become the tragedy that because of the earthquake. That is a very bad luck for the people there. But if I present the paper, if I cannot present the paper because of the earthquake, maybe I work for free or something. No one may pay me at all. But you may know that according to the news in Kathmandu, we may believe that most of the building collapsed, but actually not. Most of the buildings still there. And back in 1918, I went back again to conduct another survey, and we found that property price still going up, even if in the earthquake area. I did this in Aceh area after the tsunami, in Tacloban in the Philippines after the Haiyan typhoon, and also in Chernobyl in Ukraine. Property price won't be affected by natural disaster, and also the earthquake in Japan 2012 or something, 2011. So natural disaster won't be a big long-term problem, just only some property shock for the time being only. These are the zone that high soul rate. This is the Mahachai Sedekit, that is west of Bangkok, in the industrial zone, condominium, 1 to 2 million, they can sell 100% per a month. So this means that they can sell the whole project within a month. So these are the good ones. You have some mass appraisal. The very interesting thing is that in Thailand, real estate development become somewhat quasi monopolized or mini monopolized or something. Monopoly to some extent. You can see that this is public company, and this is the sub-public company. This is the public company, the subsidiary companies of public company, and non-public company. You can see that as of the end of 2022, only 26% of them are non-public company in terms of value. In terms of units, only 30% belong to those non-public company. This is including the old projects and the new projects. But on this page 30, it is amazing that the value of the development of non-public company down to only 18, and in terms of units down to 22. This means that the non-public company is shrinking. Altogether, these group public company, they may be less than 50 companies. They own around 3/4 of the, or maybe even 4/5 of the market already. Leaving only 70% belong to those non-public company. You can say that half maybe belong to half belong to the first 10 largest company. Okay, let's have a look. Here, this is the top 10 largest developers in Thailand. Number one, sorry, this is Thai. Number one is AP, Asian Property. AP is the largest one. And then Legend, Noble, Century, Asset Wise, Origin, Sena Development, Supalai. Formerly, it may be Land and House, or maybe Phước Real Estate. Phước Real Estate is the largest for almost 10 years, except for the last 2 years, that they are not the largest, because they still have a lot of backlog for sale or something. But you can see AP is the number one. They have 46 projects last year, 12,000 units last year, oh a lot, and 61 billion value launches last year, and their share in the market is 11%. You see, this first 10 company share is 58% already. This 10 largest company has a share of 58%. Oh, you can see very big. And then the second, listed company number 11 to 45 or something may possess another 25%. So the rest 70% belong to non-listed company. And those non-listed companies, they are also big one, like Kanda Properties. They don't want to go to the listed company. They don't want to be listed company. But they are very big company as well. So the real SME developers are very small in number, in value. They may be around 250 SME developers, but their share is very small. Actually, the government should help promote SME developers, but in practice, they promote the big developers. Maybe the big developer are also influential. So this is the case. So as I said, number one is AP, Regent, Green Power, Noble, Century, Asset Wise, Origin, Sena Development, Supalai. Supalai is the largest upcountry, the largest one upcountry. This is the value of the development. AP also the number one. And the SC Asset. SC Asset, number two is SC Asset. SC Asset is the champion of those high price ones, say above 10 million baht. That is the champion. Essentially, formerly the champion for our country, but now the champion of our country becomes Supalai. This is number 8 is Supalai. This is the champion for our country, and they sell quite reasonable price of properties. LPN number 9 here. LPN normally in the past they sell low price unit, but now they don't sell low price unit anymore. Say low price unit maybe less than 1.5 million baht per unit. Now they sell it at around, you can see around 3.1 million baht per unit. They are not selling the cheap one anymore. The cheap one, people, the lower income group, they may not have income on, their income may not be stable. So if their income not stable, they cannot buy. This is the 358 new projects that are coming in the pipeline. In the pipeline, 351. This is the numbers that we only us can produce for us, for you to have a look. No other information center can do that. You can see that in the heart of the city, mostly are condominiums. Yeah, it's condominium. And then in the fringe, maybe detached house and also townhouses. But mostly in the suburb, mostly condominiums are in the heart of the cities. Okay. Next, this is the increase in price. You can see it yourself in details. Maybe you don't need to go into further details because some of you may know the area, some of you may not know the area in particular. But one thing I like to tell you is that in the case of government assessed value, it's really low compared to the real value. So this is what you should know. This is the number of units, the decrease in price, not good in price. In the whole, you can see that now property price, house price increased a bit. Yeah, but during the COVID period, house price decreased. But there is no relationship between the proportion of COVID-19 population and increase in house price. Like in the US, there are a lot of COVID, but house price still going up, except this day. But in Thailand, not many COVID cases, but house price is going down. So there are no, when we do some regulation analysis, there is no relationship between the number of COVID cases and the house price. This is some house price change since 1991. When we established our firm, our real estate information center, you can see that house price is going up and down and up now. Except these things, low cost condominium. Low cost condominium, house price, the price is not going up anymore. The price is not going up anymore. So this is the case because of poor maintenance. Or if you are on the third floor, you can be flooded as well. Because not because of storm surge, but because of the leaking of the pipe or something. So this is the too bad case. In Nepal, when I went to Nepal to conduct the survey very regularly every year, Nepal, there is a proverb. They said that if you buy something very cheap, you will cry several times. But if you buy something expensive, you may cry once when you pay or something. So this is the proverb of Nepal. So you should not buy something too cheap. Buy something that reasonable price or more good quality one. This is something about the seasonal effect. Quarter 1 and quarter 4 are looking somewhat better because dry season or something. Quarter 2 and quarter 3 are not in good shape. The tendency, you can see that this is the tendency that in the case of detached house, around 3 to 5 million, it is going up somehow. In the case of detached house, more than 5 million, it is going up. This means that high price detached house are in good shape. Townhouse 1 to 3 million, 1 to 2 million, still in good shape as well. Townhouse 2 to 3 million, during the trend during the past 12 months is going up significantly. So there are good demand. And townhouse 3 to 5 million is going down, maybe too expensive. Townhouse 5 million, maybe because of the quality. And in the case of condominium less than 1 million now, they cannot do anymore because of the cost of construction. And condominium 1 to 2 million now not in good shape either. It's downtrend. In the case of the condominium 2 to 3 million also not increasing significantly. And condominium 3 to 5 million also not in good shape. And condominium more than 5 million also not many. So this is the market today. Next, we are going to finish soon here. You can see that this is the sales situation of condominiums by foreigners. There are foreigners who are buying condominiums in Thailand. The figures may be a lot like every price range or something, but you can see in the year 2022 here. In the year 2022 here, this one, the red one, 2022, there are 136,000 units in the market, 51,000 sold, condominium sold, and left around 85,000. And out of these 51,000 condominium sold, you can see that around 4,200 units are bought by foreigners. And this worth 183,000 units, 183 million baht. The value bought by foreigners are 20 million baht, actually it should be 20 billion baht, 20 billion baht. So this means that foreigners bought around 11% of the value, around 8% of the unit, and 11% of the value, and the price bought is around 4.8 million. As I told you that on the average, overall average, the price for housing is around 4.4, but this is 4.8 million. Okay. 2021, last year before last, only 5.4% only. You see, here is 11% here, and then 5.4 last year, year before last, and in 2020 during the COVID-19, 3.5% value of the unit bought by foreigners, very low. But in 2019, 14.6% bought by foreigners. So I hope that in 2023, the number of units bought by foreigners and the value bought by foreigners will be back again. So this is a tendency. And but however, the price that bought by foreigners are similar to the price bought by local people. Actually, there should be some difference, like in Malaysia. In the case of Malaysia, in the case of Malaysia, they said that foreigners, if you buy a house, it would be around 1 million ringgit, say 8 million baht, or in some area in the heart of the city, maybe 2 million ringgit, 16 million baht, so that they won't compete with local buyers. But in Thailand, we don't have these limits. We should have that. Or maybe, like in Singapore, they said that if you buy a house, condominiums in Singapore, you have to pay tax 30% to 35%. Hong Kong maybe 30%. But in Thailand, no tax. That is, in Hong Kong, they want to change the law to lower the tax, right? But it is allowed until 30 something. So we should also learn from Singapore as well. But in Singapore, you may know that there may be 1 million housing units, but 80%, 800,000 built by the Housing Development Board, like the National Housing Authority of Thailand. Those units you cannot touch. You can touch only those built by private sector, 200,000 units only. So not all the units can be bought by foreigners. So this is in the case of sale of condominium by foreigners. By price, this one by location. You see, this is by location. You can see that in the CBD, the Central Business District. In the case of the Central Business District here, CBD here, this is a lot of cases bought by foreigners. And in the case of Rachida Rat Phao, oh sorry, Rachida Rat Phao here, like in the area of Hoi Kwang, now it become Chinatown. This Chinatown, those came from mainland China, not the old Chinatown in the heart of the city. So this is new Chinese, no, not previous Chinese. You may know that maybe 100 years ago, a big drought or something in China, southern China or something. So people have to move away from China. My grandmother also moved. My grandmother and grandfather moved to Thailand. But many of them just came alone. This 100 years ago. But right now, this is a new generation from mainland China. This is in further details, say in the number of units bought by foreigners is around 6,000. We know that 51,000 is the number of units bought by foreigners. Condominium bought by anyone in Thailand, and 4,203 units bought by foreigners. So around 8%, 8.2% bought by foreigners, right? In the case of value, you can see that 20,000 units, 20 billion baht bought by foreigners, that is around 11.1%. And in the case of China alone, you see out of 4,200 units bought by foreigners, we found that 4,203 units bought by foreigners. 1,900 bought by Chinese alone. This is our estimate in the year 2022. So this means that almost half of the units bought by Chinese. Formally, the situation may be different. You may know that before Chinese in Pattaya before Chinese, Pattaya properties may be dominated by Russian. Before Russian, maybe like Western, like Germany and France, England or something. Before that, maybe Japanese. But the original group came from Saudi Arabia, maybe around 30 years ago. At that time, one worker from Thailand stole the diamond from Saudi Arabia and came to Thailand. And then the diplomatic officers came to search for the diamond, and he was shot dead in Pattaya. So Saudi people they moved back to their own country. So that is the case. Did you find the diamond yet, Mr. Lo?
I have time.
Is it with you? No? Blue diamond or something. I don't know what happened. So this is the case. And you may know that during the period that that man stole the diamond from the palace of Saudi Arabia, at that time, South Korea man also went to Saudi Arabia to drive tax, to be a workers there. But then they come back, and then Korea now growing really quickly. But Thailand still growing, but in a slower pace. That was in 1980 something. I cannot remember. That is in the 30 years ago. And then you can see that in the case of condominiums bought by foreigners, so we expect that, we know that here 2022 it may be the number of units bought in the case of condominium is 51,000 in 2022. In 2003, we expect that to be 55,000 units bought bought in the case of condominiums. And the number of units bought by foreigners might become 7,700 units, more from 4,000 units, more than the units that we have bought in 2019. And by Chinese, maybe more, 4,400. That is our wild guess. And this is our guess that we expect that in the future. And you can see that the proportion of Chinese buyers is higher, more than half of the buyers from abroad. More than half of the buyers, but more than half of the foreign buyers, they are Chinese. That's why I feel really jealous that my grandma should not move from mainland China. Otherwise, I become millionaire. Unfortunately. I'm just kidding. And further discussion with this, as I tell you, is that you can see that 55,000 units condominium bought by foreigners. Bought in 2023, and 7,700 units bought by foreigners. Okay, but in the case of all type of housing in BMR, maybe around 120,000 units bought this year, 2023, and the number of units bought by foreigners maybe 9,600. This includes detached house, townhouse, duplex. And if in the case of Thailand as a whole, maybe 220,000 units, and around 13,000 units bought by foreigners, that is around 6%. 6%. So they are not so much, around 6% only bought by foreigners. 6% of the houses are bought by foreigners. So this is our analysis. It may be wrong, but let's see what will be happening in the year 2023. This is our forecast. Next, there is something what we call unoccupied housing units. You see, in Bangkok alone, there are around 617,000 unoccupied housing units. In Thailand as a whole, maybe a million or more, 1.2 million unoccupied housing units. That is still low when we compare with Japan. They said there are around 14 million. Oh my God, 14 million unoccupied housing units, if I'm wrong. But in China, some said that there are around 50 million housing units unoccupied, already built, already went over mostly, but no one stay there because they just bought it for speculation, or maybe some spirit haunted there or something. But no one stay there. So this is, if we do not deal with it properly, it may become economic waste. However, I think we should do something better than just keep it untouched. So in Bangkok, there is around 617,000 units unoccupied, and we divide it into a detached house, duplex, townhouse, shop house, condominiums. We even classify by location as well, very detailed one. But this is just the case. And frightening, you can see that in the case of condominium, around 24%, around to one fourth of them unoccupied. Say, if we have a condominium, 100 units, 25 units are unoccupied. Very dangerous. But for low-rise, maybe 8%, but condominium is 24%. So altogether, unoccupied housing unit is 13%, 1/3. Say every 8 house, 1 house will be unoccupied. In every 8 houses, housing units, or 1 house, will be unoccupied. So this is, I think our government maybe try to encourage developers to produce more so that their share value may be going up or something. But they don't take good care of those unoccupied second-hand housing units. They should take care of unoccupied housing units instead of developers. Before we leave, this is the land price changes. You can see land price changes in the Myanmar, in the Bangkok metropolitan region in 1985 to 2022, going up and down. But these days, property price, land price is going up because of the construction of the mass transit. Construction of the mass transit. That's why even if the economy is not good, but land price still going up because of the new potential resulting from the mass transit construction. But some mass transit route may not be good, but most of them should be okay. This is the top land price. Say Siam Square, 4 right of land, 1 square wa is around 3.5 million baht. 3.5 million baht. If we have a 1,000 baht note, we have to put on tenfold. It is very expensive. If we use this to put in 1 square wa, it will be 10 of them. That is too much indeed. And as I told you earlier, 3.5 million baht per square wa compared to only 4,000 baht per square wa in the fringe, 45 kilometers away. This is a big disparity, a big difference. So we should not allow to be so. The tendency, one thing I like to tell you is that in this area, 3.5 million baht per square wa, you know, in the Sopo department store, in the Quezon Plaza, in the President Park, President Hotel, or in that area, in Perkit. Land price, the common assessed value is only 60 to 80,000 baht per square wa only. But the market price is 3.5 million already. You may heard that the government said that the government assessed value up is increased to 1 million baht per square wa already. But 1 million baht per square wa is still less than 1/4, maybe 1/3 of the market value. They don't want the rich to pay more tax. And 1 million baht per square wa are those shop houses. And in the case of small shop houses of 20 square wa or 80 square meters, 20 square wa or 80 square meters, the government assessed value is 1 million. But for the big plots that can build high-rise building like Hyatt Erawan, they just assess it at only 680,000 baht per square wa. So this is some misleading information by the government, because they said they increased the price already, but they just increased the government assessed value for the small plots of land for shop houses. But for big plots, they don't touch at all. So I think they don't want the rich to pay higher tax. So this is something like as I told you earlier, Mr. Chachat bought a house in USA, 70 million baht. They have to pay tax, annual tax around 700,000 baht, 1%. 1 million they pay 10,000 baht. Okay. But in Thailand, if you buy a foreigner buy a house 70 million baht, the government assessed value may be 20 million baht only, or 30 million baht, no pay, because you will pay if your house above 50 million baht of the assessed value. And if it is 51 million, okay, that 1 million baht you have to pay tax. But you just pay 200 baht per 1 million, not 10,000 baht per 1 million like in the US. So this is not good either. So if we want foreigners to buy properties in Thailand, they have to pay tax. Like we went to buy properties in UK or in the US, or capital gain tax. We don't have that either. We have, but we pay really minimal compared to 20% in the US. Or in the case of inheritance tax or estate tax. If you buy a house in ski resort in Hokkaido, we went to conduct valuation of ski resort in Hokkaido also. If your property worth say 150 million baht, above 150 million baht, say if your property is, your estate is 200 million baht, the price of 150 to 200, that is 50 million baht, you have to pay tax 55%. Oh my God. But in Thailand, if your property is worth less than 100 million baht of the asset value, that may be 300 million baht already, you have no need to pay tax. And if you just give to your son 20 million every year before you die, no tax to pay either. This is not so good for Thailand. I don't know why. Maybe we need more. I think we need to reform somehow. So this is the case. So this is the last one. That is a tendency. The tendency is that during 2020, 16, 17, 19, 18 and 19, actually including 2019, there is the number of units, the number of projects, the value of the new development or everything here, detached house, townhouse and condominium. And during the COVID-19, it is dropped quite significantly. And in the year 2022, 2023 and 2024, this is our forecast. You may keep this in mind and to see whether it is increasing or not to some extent. You may compare this case. You may compare let me show you. You may compare say in the case of detached house, before COVID-19, they launched around 10,000, 11,000 units. Now they launched, last year they launched 14,000 units, a lot more. Townhouse, formerly they launched 38,000 units. This year they launched 24,000 units. And condominium, previously they launched 54,000 units. But last year they launched 51,000 units, still lower. Except detached house, it is a big increase. This is a big increase. Actually, we have the figure not only in Thai, also in price range, which price range of condominium, which price range of detached house is increasing. So this is the power of data that we provide. So we just want to share to you so that it may be beneficial for you. Maybe we can conduct some study in Dhaka or somewhere so that we use information for decision making or something. So this is our presentation. This is we got the plaque of appreciation from the Prime Minister also, like Yingluck. But we already, we also got one from Prayut and also one from Thaksin or something. So we bought them, we just earned it.